Hi, I'm Danielle, the domestic scientist, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through the ups and downs of my Dollar Tree DIY, so stay tuned. So I purchased these bronze charger plates from my local Dollar Tree, and I really enjoyed the dark brown color, but I wanted to add a little bit of pop of color to it because I wanted to do a sunflower inspired table. So my first plan was to paint a sunflower on the charger plate. However, I'm not that artistic and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off. I had watched several other painting videos, and at first I was gung-ho thinking I could really do this, and I attempted to paint some flowers. They just didn't look right and I had a hard time defining the petals, so I decided to go in another direction. So instead of painting on an actual sunflower, I decided to do like an abstract interpretation of a sunflower on my charger plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the center of the charger plate a dark color to serve as kind of like the center of the sunflower. And then for the petals, I'm just going to paint the outer edge of the charger plate with some beautiful metallic colors instead of trying to do individual. So that's kind of my plan. I expect it to have somewhat of like an oil painting type finish. So I expect to see layers of paint, and I want it to have a little bit of dimension. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So the first step that I'm taking is I'm painting the outer edge of the charger plates of white color. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I did a test run on a different charger plate, and I had put some metallic paint on top of this bronze metallic color, and the two paints just didn't like each other. So what I need to do is use this white acrylic paint as somewhat of a primer, and then I can add color on top of that. So I'm going to give it a really good thick coat. Let it dry. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start painting the center of my plate a nice dark black color because I want the center to be really dark. But as I was looking at it, the black was too black, and honestly I was using black because I didn't have a dark brown. So then I decided to try to add in a little bit of this brown paint just so it wouldn't look so flat, to give it a little bit of dimension. So what I found in doing this process, even mixing a little bit of your metallic paint can really mess with the consistency of it. So if I was to do this again in the future, I would not actually blend them. Now for this particular plate, the blend was okay, but some of my other plates didn't turn out as well, especially when I tried to touch it up with extra paint. It kind of clumped up in the middle a little bit, so you want to be really careful about the mixing of paints. So in the future, I would just do a thick coat of black paint, and then I would do a mix of black and metallic if I was to do this again. And the other thing is, I was so into painting that I didn't realize that I should have changed out the charger plate and let the black center dry before I started doing the outer edge, because I wound up getting a little bit of black paint bleeding into the edge of paint. Although I blended it out pretty well and it wasn't really obvious, and with the layers of paint that I was going to put, it wasn't really going to mess anything up. But it's just one of those things, if I was doing it again, I would do that a little bit differently. So, you know, the first plate is kind of like a pancake. You mess it up a little bit and then you kind of learn a little bit more as you go along. So I'm starting over again. The white paint has already been allowed to dry, and then I'm coming in with this metallic. Now at this point, I didn't realize I was going to start having blending consistency issues with it. So you're going to see me blend that metallic and black paint on probably all of these chargers before I started to realize there was going to be a problem. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue to paint the outer edge. The white paint looked pretty good, but it just didn't have enough of the yellow that I wanted. So I decided to go ahead and just do a lot more yellow. Now, because I'm trying to get a lot of color coverage on this run, and I'm not really worried too much about the final look on this first layer of paint, I'm going to use a really thick brush just to get a lot of paint down quickly. So for the outer edge, I'm not going to let the paint dry for several different applications. And the reason why is because I want to make sure that I build and blend the paint on top of the actual charger plate. So I'm going to go through and use a wide brush to get as much metallic paint on there as possible. And then later on, I will come over with a smaller brush to kind of help blend the paint. So I allowed the plates to air dry, and then I took them outside and I just sprayed them with the clear acrylic coat, and that kind of helps to seal the paint in so it won't chip. And you can kind of see this is the final product. Now on the inside edge of the plate there are some consistency issues, as I had mentioned earlier, and it didn't look too cute. If I could have, I guess, considered putting in another coat of black paint in the middle, but because the consistency was so bad I didn't want to run the risk of just messing up everything on there, so I decided to leave it as is. So the best part about this is that even though I made some mistakes in the center of it, it will be covered by a dinner plate, so it's not going to be that obvious. The most important thing is that the outer edge looks the way I wanted it to, and so far I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So once you add a dinner plate on top of it, I think it gives the impact that I really want. And if I really want like that sunflower look, I can really put a darker plate on the middle. But at the end, I think it gives a nice, bright, airy color, and I love the metallic sheen to it, and I think it came out really cute. Obviously, I wouldn't be charging people anything. I wouldn't be selling these on Etsy until I perfect the technique, but I did have a lot of fun with it. Today's video is a part of a YouTube collaboration called Dollar Tree DIY Sunflower Challenge. The hosts for this challenge are Brittany Allen Crafts and Actually Allie. I'll have links to both of our host channels in my description box below. Also, be sure to check out the collaboration playlist where you can see other sunflower inspired DIY projects, all from the Dollar Tree. I'm Danielle, the Domestic Scientist. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.